veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. My heart's in overdrive and you're behind.
I just noticed that Miami just lost again to Golden State. Miami came out on the season. They won a couple in a row, and everybody was like, okay, Miami's going to be okay. But then they went and they started losing. I mean, they still have a winning record, all right, but they're 8-7 now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. So is Miami even going to make the playoffs this year?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, I think they can.
That East is terrible.
The funny thing is, right now Cleveland is 6-7. They did win one. They're also 5-5.
And if people are overreacting about Cleveland, I mean, I think they'll be there at the end, and that's all that matters. I mean, everyone thought they were going to win.
Well, it's still early. Again, we're only 15 games into the season.
Yeah,
and they're 13 games into the season.
I think the big question is their coach. He's never been an NBA coach. He's got a unique style he's trying to bring in. But when you're doing all that stuff, it takes time. You're not going to come out of the game and win all these games.
I mean, they said the same thing about the Heat when they first started out. And again,
and they did the same thing.
Yeah, first year they didn't win the championship in their first year. They lost. So give it some time. Toronto 12-2. Toronto just beat the Suns last night. So
the Toronto team's kind of underrated.
Yeah, they are.
They had a really nice video tribute to Vince Carter.
Oh yeah, they did. Yep, that was awesome.
That was really nice of them, I thought, because he was their original star. If you want to go that far.
Yep,
and David
won the slam dunk contest.
But I was kind of hoping the Suns would lose when they played the 76ers because of Bledsoe's big mouth. But unfortunately, they won by like 40. So,
yeah, no, nobody's. Speaking of the winless 0-14 Philadelphia 76, I'm just going to sneak a peek here real quick at their schedule, and I'm just going to go down about a dozen of them, and I just want you to tell me when their first win is going to be. All right, let's check this out. They've got Brooklyn. No. They've got Dallas.
Brooklyn's not very good either, but
they've got Dallas.
No.
They've got San Antonio. All of these are at home, by the way. Then they're at Minnesota.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a potential. Then
I think Minnesota's still better, but
then they're at Oklahoma City.
No.
Detroit.
Maybe.
Potential. That one's got potential. Atlanta, no.
And Detroit should be better. They've got some stars there, and they've got a good coach in Stan Van Gundy.
Atlanta, Brooklyn, Memphis, and then they play Boston again. They were up by like 22 points against Boston and lost by 11. That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
and it was at home.
Are you noticing the trend though that all the awful teams seem to be in the East?
Yeah, but we talked about this before. When you draft your team, and because when you draft your team, not only are you drafting players, but you're drafting players in certain spots. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people can go back a little bit further. So they trade back, so they don't have to pay as much because they know that when they draft their teams and they create their teams, they only need to compete in the East. And if the East is bad, they don't need to bring in all of this high-priced talent in order to compete to have an opportunity to make the playoffs. Because all you have to do these days to say you had a successful season, whether or not you finished 10 games under 500, is to make the playoffs. You can say you are a playoff team. Is it sad? Yes, absolutely. Gone are the days with the bad boys and Bird and Parrish and Barkley in Philadelphia and Dr. J there too. And those days are gone. There's no more powerhouses in the East.
And
There just aren't.
And I'm probably the only one who watches Premier League soccer, and I like it. And one of the things that I love is, and I'd like to see this work in North American sports, you get relegated. If you lose and you're in the bottom, you get sent down. And I don't know how you would make that work, because I don't think you move the team down, but maybe you take all the players and you say, all you guys have to play in the D League next year if you don't win.
Wow.
That would be something interesting, because then you can avoid the tanking.
True.
So
very true. Very, very true. Say, yeah, great. So the Celtics, you got a good, draft pick, but half your team's going to the D League.
Yeah. All your team, your coach, and your GM are now in charge of the D League team.
You've got until such and such date to cut your starting roster down to 6. And then you have to bring up 6 players from the D League that are currently there.
Yep.
I'd like that idea, man.
I don't know.
I do.
It works different because, there's no draft picks or anything over there. But I don't know. It'd be kind of an interesting concept.
Now, I don't want to leave Justin out. Justin's a football guy. Okay. He's one of our football gurus. Do you watch basketball at all?
No.
You don't?
Nope.
So you don't even cheer for the Suns or anything?
Last time I watched basketball was when.
When was the last time
Michael
you were
Jordan
at
was
a
playing.
basketball game?
Just a Suns game.
I'm going to treat you guys to a
long
Suns
time
game.
ago.
We're going to get together. I'm going to take everybody to a Suns game.
The last Suns game
I'm not even a Suns fan, but
was
okay.
in 2007 when it was a corporate event. We got invited to the Boston Padres.
The last Suns game I went to was a few years back, and I got in a brawl. Technically, it wasn't my fault.
I'm sure it was your fault.
No, it was the Suns fans' fault. Look, I'm okay with the Suns play some entertaining basketball. Okay, there's no denying that. They always have. They've always been entertaining. In '93, when the Bears took them on, or the Bulls, same city. I get points for that. When the Bulls took them on, when Michael Jordan had to go through Phoenix to win the NBA title, the Phoenix Suns averaged 113.6 points per game. To put that in perspective, last year the highest scoring team was 107. You know how much you have to beat a team by to have a 6-point differential at the end of the season? They had Barkley, they had Marley, they had Johnson, they had Cedric Sabalas. That was one of the best offensive teams in the history. However, defense wins championships. And the Bulls won.
No, John Paxson wins championships, but that was an entirely different league. You're talking about you could touch a guy, you could foul a guy, you couldn't breathe.
But that's
on
what
him
makes the offensive team so impressive.
Well, and then Colangelo said, well, I'm getting all this money. I'm going to put the games on pay-per-view, and then no one cared anymore.
Yeah.
With Sam Cassell.
Yeah.
So
Colangelo's a heck of a guy.
No, he's a brilliant man, but
brilliant businessman.
That was the worst
he is
decision
Phoenix
he may have made.
sports altogether.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no denying that he is responsible for us having us. I live in Phoenix. I can say us, I guess, for us having the entertainment that we have. Now, granted, they're not the most winning organizations, but if you think about it, how many cities out there, how many major cities don't have all 4 teams? You know what I'm saying? All 4 sports. And we even have an arena league team, which are the defending champions.
Seems kind of silly.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move them to Tucson.
Why? They're winning.
Because they'd get better attendance.
I know they get better attendance.
Remember when
Keep
they
them
shut
here.
down for a year because they couldn't pay their bills?
Oh, yeah, dude. But let me tell you something, though. Having covered the Rattlers, side note here, I know. Having covered the Rattlers, there is not a more exciting fan base than the Rattlers.
No, I agree. And I was there when they won the first Arena Bowl in '94.
Yeah.
And they were that team. You said the Bears. I meant to say the Bears might be able to beat the 76ers. But that arena team of the Rattlers with Hunky Cooper and Shedrick Bonner, they might have been able to beat the Cardinals at that time.
Yeah.
They might. Yeah. It would have been close.
It would have been.
You know what else was really cool? And it was only here for like a year, maybe two. The Arizona Sting indoor lacrosse. That was like a party.
Yeah.
And it was
I never saw those.
Yep.
It was cheap too. It was at Gila River Arena.
Yeah, that was before I moved here, but I saw a lot of that stuff on TV.
Yeah, it was like all they did was blast music and like it was real.
And
cheap,
that's what they do
kids.
now.
Yeah, and it was fun.
The Rattlers fans, they stayed loud the entire game because there is no such thing as running up a score in Arena League football. You score 70 points to 6, and that's just the score. That's it. Look, because you're only dealing with 50 yards. There's only so many plays you can run before you end up in the end zone.
I've seen some Rattler games.
Right. And they're nice and loud. I like it. And we'll be covering them next season.
I used to go to Roadrunners hockey games.
Oh, I love the Roadrunners.
That
hockey. All right.
Anyway, we're changing to hockey.
We did. Go ahead. So the NHL season, we don't really talk too much about it right now at the beginning of the season. I'm more of a after All-Star break type of guy myself for hockey. That's number 4 on my list of my favorite sports is hockey. So it's still a favorite sport, though. I'm a big Bruins fan. I am. I peek. I keep an eye on what's going on, who's getting suspended, who's hurt. But I don't really start paying too much attention to the games until after the All-Star game.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do that. A couple big things lately. 2 big things. Pat Quinn, legendary coach, passed away yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is Viktor Tikhonov. A lot of people remember him from Miracle on Ice. He was the Russian coach.
Yeah.
And, I mean, say what you want. I love America. This guy was everything you would want from a guy from your country.
Yeah.
If you were Russian, you loved this guy because he represented the USSR.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he brought really interesting puck possession style of play. And when USA won in '80, it was a huge deal.
Oh, remind me, Kings are in town next week. I got to put in for your credentials.
Yep.
So.
But so he passed away. So just want to give some thoughts and prayers to those guys. And not his son, his grandson, same name, was in the Coyotes organization. He just signed in the KHL.
I think that the Russian team of the 70s, the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, the Miracle on Ice team wouldn't have been half as good without him. They all had skill, but he taught them discipline and how to work as a team, and they were lightning on ice.
Well, the thing that made it so much more surprising was they were paid by the USSR to practice, train 12 months a year. And that's all they did. That was how they did their government pride, you know, for the USSR. So kind of interesting. And then our amateurs, you know, snuck out a win. And basically that was the end of it. The other thing with him is he was so hard that a lot of people defected. Sergei Fedorov, I mean, a lot of people know Sergei Fedorov.
Yep.
He snuck out in the middle of the night because he didn't want to train 12 months a year. He wanted to get paid NHL money and be free.
Yep.
So.
And not only that, but one of the things that I do like about him, and it's little known fact, during the Olympics or working up to the 84 Olympics was
80 or 84?
80, sorry, was the Cuban Missile Crisis. He was instrumental with saying that Russia was coming here to play.
Yeah.
Because they went to him and said, hey, look, we got this thing going on. I don't know exactly how you say it. I don't know how you say it in Russian. But, hey, you know, we got this thing going on. Nobody's going to say anything to you if you decide not to go because, you know, we're Russia and that's the United States. We're enemies. If you stay, that's fine. If you go, that's fine. And he said, go. So, you know, but then again, when you were that great and there was at the time – there was no team out there that was even close to yours.
And if you haven't seen the movie Miracle, see it.
Right.
I mean, if like for me, that was before my time.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive in 80.
They were the heavy favorites.
Well, then they beat a team of NHL All-Stars.
Yeah.
A few weeks before.
They crushed them.
Yeah. It wasn't even close. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's a big deal.
It is.
So, But anyway, in other news,
Shout out to Herm
stuff,
Edwards, by the way, for putting the team together that could beat them.
Herm Edwards.
Yeah.
You mean
Not
Herb Brooks?
Herb Brooks. Sorry, Herm Edwards. Playoffs. But moving on.
Put your name on it.
So as of right now, who do we have as division leaders here? I'm looking at the standings.
You got Montreal, Pittsburgh in the East,
Canadians,
and St. Louis and Anaheim in
I
the
can't
West.
stand Canadians, and I'm part Canadian.
Before we get into the standings, though, a couple of big moves. Montreal
That's the part I usually leave out.
traded Bork to the Ducks.
Right.
So, and Gonchar, who I always liked, good Russian offensive defenseman, went from Dallas to Montreal. So a couple big early season moves.
Yeah. All I know is that the Bruins were on a tear. They were 6-1-1 in their last 7 or 8, and then they lost 2 in a row. So I was like,
Yeah, I
man.
think they'll still be in it.
Of course they'll be in it.
Tampa
Don't be
is
silly.
still really good. I think a lot of people expected.
What
them
about
to fall off.
Detroit? When are we going to see Detroit back on top? Detroit used to be a powerhouse as soon as 5 years ago.
Well, like in the NHL or NBA,
Detroit had a bunch of Russians.
the East is weak. Well, in the NHL, the West is generally weaker. So Detroit, when they were in the West, they could dominate a lot easier. Now they've got to play Boston, Toronto, Montreal. So they complained and they wanted it, and now they're kind of doing that. Getting their own medicine, so to speak. Plus, they're a lot older. Pittsburgh's still doing really well. The other surprise is not really a surprise. The Islanders, came on late last year, but they're doing well.
Right.
And New Jersey's picked it up quite a bit.
Wasn't Columbus like a playoff team?
They were. Sadly, they fell off.
Yeah, they did. They're 6-13 right now. Granted, still early.
Well, your guy, Horton, they signed a big money deal there, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
So,
and then in the West, St. Louis is on top.
Yeah.
Nashville's right there. Chicago, we expect to be there. Dallas, that's a little. They're in Minnesota and Dallas are down there, towards the end of the Central Division. I expect them to be up top.
look, I want the Wild to do good. Minnesota is a hockey state. We want
you a
USA.
Wild wisher?
I am a Wild well wisher. We want USA hockey to do well. So
True.
Minnesota should be good. They have all the talent to do it.
What about college hockey? Do you follow college hockey?
A little bit. And I was hoping to get my buddy, my former high school captain, Chris Ullman, who played at Arizona State, who just went Division I on the show, but he had an event tonight. So,
okay. Well, we'll get him on.
Yeah, we'll get him on down the road. Probably when we get to the Frozen Four.
All I know is that Boston College is usually in the Frozen Four.
Boston College is always in there.
Wisconsin
is good too.
Maine.
Gary Suter's coach there.
Maine's pretty good. The Black Bears, Maine Black Bears.
Maine is good. Colorado's usually pretty good.
Colorado's pretty
and
good.
On ASU, they're the first Pac-12 school in Division I hockey.
Right. They
Isn't
were
that a
NAIA.
surprise?
They just made that move.
I would have thought Stanford would have
They
gone.
did the same thing as far as hockey goes that Grand Canyon did, because in Division II, both schools dominated their respective sports. So it's only a matter of time before you move down to Division I.
The big question is, who are they going to play? It's going to be Colorado.
Because they're going to stay out.
Utah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where are they going to play? I know it's a long haul from ASU to Gila River, but I think you've got to work that Coyotes partnership somehow.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
Arizona actually has a lot of really good young developing players. They're going to be in the NHL soon. So, I mean, this youth hockey's been huge, and the Coyotes have been a big part of that. Even though, who knows what's going on with them again.
GCU, by the way, losing to Buffalo by 14 with 3.5 left.
You didn't cover the Pacific. Anaheim's in first.
Oh, very good.
Just like last year.
Yeah, I expect them to win their division.
They seem to do, but then playoffs, they shut it down.
Quack, 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 all that stuff.
The big surprise is San Jose is falling off a lot.
They have.
So
when they first got Thornton, they were running all over everybody.
Never a Thornton guy. He's soft.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the reason the Bruins got rid of him?
Yep. You can't be soft in Boston.
Soft. So, alrighty then. So, are we break time?
We
9
have a
o'clock.
couple more minutes, or we can take one now.
Let's take one right now because we got some WWE coming up, part of one of our new segments. So let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back.
Would you like to own a thriving business and help employ local veterans? The Vetraplex Handyman Construction and Landscape business is the opportunity you've been waiting for. The Vetraplex is your gateway to an affordable startup business with 0% financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you will be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
Are you or someone you know looking for a new job or career? The Vets on Media family would like to invite you to the National Career Fair in Phoenix on November 17th from 11 until 2 p.m. This free job fair will be held at the Phoenix Airport Marriott Hotel, located at 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. This is your chance to meet some of the top employers in the Phoenix area face-to-face. Get ready to jumpstart your new career at the National Career Fair in Phoenix, November 17th from 11 until 2 p.m. at the Phoenix Marriott Hotel, 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. For more information, visit ncfairs.com/Phoenix. Again, that's ncfairs.com/Phoenix.
Breaking 1-9. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me.
Never give up, brother. It's our WWE segment as they fall in line with entertainment, sports entertainment. So, Survivor Series was this weekend. And what do you think of it, Aaron? Initial thoughts?
I liked it. It was good. I mean, we can run down the card if you want.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's start. Let's do that.
I mean, if you want to jump right into the main event, it's pretty entertaining. I'd mentioned my problem with Dolph Ziggler last week is he's probably the best seller in the company right now. He sells everything real hard, but why does he kick out of everybody's finisher? You got to make me believe that, he's not going to kick out one time.
Yeah.
Or maybe hit him with a clothesline or a power slam or,
finishers
Spinebuster.
aren't what they used to be.
A finisher is to finish it. It's not.
Even on the video game, you got to give like 3 of them.
Except for like a select few that could get out of just one, but not a whole bunch.
Yeah, there's like 3.
It used to be that a power bomb was the end. That's it.
One of my favorite guys who never got any run was Ahmed Johnson. You remember the
I remember him.
plunge?
Yeah.
That thing was cool, but I mean that was super dangerous. You can't do that anymore.
But you remember, like back in the day, a DDT was the end. That was it. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Hey, I like I said, I got and
Philly heads have gotten a lot harder.
I got 2K15. That's my finisher.
Is it?
Dealing DDT. Boom.
Nice.
I'm old school.
Yeah. Not me. I'd always do like I'd try to find what's his name? I can't even think of his name. I just completely blew that section. The way it ended with Sting coming back, I'm trying to figure out what the storyline is going to be. Is it just a quick I'm popping in, I'm popping out? I mean, why did McMahon have him do an appearance?
He's under contract, but I
for
think
WCW.
No, he's under contract.
Is it?
And I think they're setting it up for WrestleMania. But
against who?
Helmsley. Triple H. Sorry.
Okay. Well, on Monday Night Raw, McMahon chewed out Stephanie and Triple H and said, you need to find a way to fix this, even though he came up with the stipulations. So I'm trying to figure out what angle they're going with that.
I mean, nobody's ever been able to replace the Austin McMahon deal.
That's true. The bad guy against McMahon.
So
I watched it back then when that was going on.
Everybody did. That was the height, I think.
Yeah.
But
the bad boy era.
You can't run with that forever.
The DX.
Yeah.
Maybe DX is coming back. That's another thing, though, man. I get a little tired of fans just not letting storylines die, where everybody's still saying The Rock's gonna come out or something. But then again, Sting just showed up, so I have no clue what the heck they're gonna pull out for TLC, which is in 2.5 weeks. I know Bray Wyatt.
You want to break down this card first?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, so obviously we did the main event. Team Cena won, Authority out.
Well, let's real quick. Big Show knocking out Cena. What?
He does the turn a lot.
I'm not surprised. I think he's turning too much.
But yeah, he almost is. I think he needs to take a break. I would like to see him take a hiatus for a little bit.
I think he needs to retire, dude. The guy's been in almost as long as The Undertaker was.
I've been seeing little things where it's talking about him knocking him out.
I mean, the guy that needs to retire is Mark Henry. He's a danger to everyone, and he's never been entertaining. He's done anything. Quick. I don't know one person who says Mark Henry is my favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
I mean, he's strong. He's as strong as an ox.
Yeah,
but
world's strongest man.
What does he do that's special? Nothing. The guy's just big.
The same thing with the Big Show.
The Big Show actually could wrestle back in the day.
But how old is he now? He's like 40 something.
He played basketball and he played tight end. Imagine that guy, and he ran like a 4.4 and coming out of high school.
He's not running a 4.4 today.
No, not now.
And if he tries to, I'm not going to want to try to slow him down.
Exactly. Imagine that guy going over the middle. He doesn't have to run a 4.4.
Maybe that's what you do. You just go to the NFL for.
There's a picture of
games.
JBL. It says, "If I lose my match against John Cena over the limit, I will be fired." And the Big Show knocks out Cena. Then it says Stephanie McMahon and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. If we lose our match against Team Cena at Survivor
Series,
old
stuff.
We will be out of power.
Yeah.
And Big Show knocks out Cena.
So he's saying it's been used before. I mean, it was a nice twist. I just my thing with the main event is you had Ryback. You've been pumping him up for weeks since he came back from the injury, and he was out of that match in 3 minutes.
Yep. And then Cena gets knocked out.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know they're trying to push Ziegler, but they want him to be Shawn Michaels. He's not Shawn Michaels. All right. He's not. He's never going to be.
No.
He's not as talented.
We ran into Shawn Michaels last year at the SHOT Show.
Oh, I got his autograph when they came here for WrestleMania.
His business card.
Dude. That's cool. He's a little out there, but I kind of dig it. He went total.
Maybe we'll see him again this year at the SHOT Show.
And he only eats things he shoots. He lives on that big ranch, and that's all he eats.
Acres upon acres upon acres.
All right, so we had Divas tag team match.
Divas tag team,
the Survivor Series.
Boring.
Yeah, it was very boring. Emma's got some talent. She might be all right. I don't get the dancing
She's
thing,
kind of
but I
weird.
guess that's from NXT. I don't know. The thing that's interesting with that is Summer Rae. They're trying to teach her to wrestle. She's come a long way. And Paige actually is getting over. People like Paige. She's good. She's not that attractive, but she's good in the ring.
Yeah. So I agree with that.
Look up
the championship match.
Tag team?
No, Divas.
Yeah. AJ and Nikki.
So where are they going with that? I mean, are they saying Bree's just kissing up to her just to get a title match?
Well, I heard that AJ might be leaving. I don't know if she's going to go draw comic books with her husband, but
that's right. She is married to CM Punk.
Yeah.
Philip.
That was a weird thing because it was over and they've been pushing her, and then what, a 30-second match? It was weird.
Yeah. Well, the storyline behind that was because AJ cost Daniel Bryan his championship in 5 seconds. Remember, she jumped up on the ropes and gave him a kiss against Sheamus, and then turned around and Sheamus kicked him, and that was the end of his championship. So it was supposed to symbolize that type of payback.
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, we talked about it last week. Nikki Bella has done a lot to improve her in the ring skills, and she's come a long way.
Looks like she's done a lot to improve her assets.
Those two. That's probably your boy Cena's doing. So
right.
But I don't know. We'll see. I think you'll probably see a Bella title match. Maybe. I don't know if AJ's going to go or what the deal is.
Potentially, I think AJ's kind of hot. Me personally.
She's kind of weird.
Well, I think that's the character.
No, I think that's really her. Her and CM Punk are weird like that. They draw comics and stuff.
Was CM Punk? He's on football shows now. He does like commentary for sports and stuff.
Really?
I think he was on some like what are those Comic-Con deals?
He does that, and I think he also does sports too.
Outstanding. That'd be cool. Maybe we get him on the show. I'll work on it.
Paige isn't that bad looking.
Tag team fatal 4-way. It was a good match.
It was interesting, but you know,
how over is Mizdow? I love it.
I think it's hilarious.
I mean, I don't know where it's gonna go.
I do, because before he's turned face. He has. He's turned face because before everybody hated him. He was, coming out acting like Jesus Christ. That's not a swear. That's actually what he was doing.
He was kind of like Helmsley. Do you remember old Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Long locks and yeah. And
the King of the Ring Helmsley.
Before he started.
Now he's just Trips or Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H.
I call him Trips because we're tight like that.
Oh, okay. You can do that. You guys are boys. Outstanding. I don't know. I think that storyline is just ridiculous. I think that's more for the kids.
I mean, I'm glad the Uzos didn't win. I'm not a real
really.
Fan.
I like the Uzos because those are the only two that I think that actually have any athletic ability.
I do like the coming back of the tag team, though. You're seeing some really good tag team wrestling. You're not seeing a lot. You got the Uzos, the Los Matadores. They wrestle pretty well together.
2 points for that one. And then
Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting.
And then you got
one semester here.
Goldust, but Goldust has been around forever.
I like
since
the
like
Goldust
90.
and Stardust.
He's going on like
Dusty
20
Rhodes,
years,
Dusty
25
Rhodes
years.
Forever.
He's been around since like 94.
Yeah, I
doing
like
the
him.
Goldust bid.
And I like that Cody said nobody likes Cody Rhodes, but they do kind of like Stardust. So
he's weird.
Don't get a little too big for your britches, kid. Know your place.
I know, but
I think you can have a good tag team with those 4 guys. Well, those 3 guys, and then who knows what's going to happen with the Miz and Mizdow.
Right.
It's funny.
There's really no
It's funny.
Legion of Doom. There's no.
But I think that's what Goldust and Stardust could be.
No, I mean
If
like
you don't
that
break them up and you just keep
dominating.
them.
You know, like JBL and what's his name used to be in DX. You know, those types of tag teams. There's none of that anymore. It's too plain for me. They need to come out, go do a little bit. You know what? NFL season's about to end. Go find some wrestlers. Go find some big guys.
I'm okay with it. Just make it tag team wrestling. Make it the 80s. You have the guys isolate the corner and do all that stuff where you're like, oh, he's got to make the tag, you know, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you keep them as a tag team, you don't break them up the next week because you need to put a singles match in.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Jimmy Uso versus Matador AA.
Yeah.
You know,
Matador A.
I don't know their names.
A and B, right?
You know, that's what they do is they break them up too quick. So
yeah. See, I liked with the Shield. I like what they did with the Shield. That was a great storyline, but I think they ended it too quick.
No, that was a good line. It had a long build up, a good payoff.
Roman Reigns is coming back in like a month.
Yeah, and I don't get Seth Rollins as a main event talent. I don't think he's ever going to be there.
I think now he's just a joke. He's like a running joke right now.
Same thing I said about Ziggler. Show me what you do that's impressive. He's not a great technical wrestler. He's good. I'm not afraid of him as a heel. I'm not angry with him.
I kind of like the
annoyed
curb
with
stomp
him.
finisher, though.
Oh, it's a cool finisher.
I like that, you know. But who else do we have on the card? Was
Ambrose and Bray Wyatt.
That was a good match.
I didn't like the finish.
And it's in a disqualification.
Yeah, and then it looks like they're going to put the IC title on Ambrose. So
Really?
then when they have the rematch at TLC, it'll be worth a little more. I see Bray Wyatt as a main event guy. He's a world title holder at some point. He's got the size. He's got the character. He's willing to play
the fans love him.
That's just it. They don't know if they want to make him a villain or
even as a villain, they love him. The lights go out. The little camera phone lights come on. And
I know. It's great.
I like how that looks.
It's like the coolest entrance right now because the Undertaker's not there.
Yeah.
So
hey, he's never coming back. He's done. He's retired.
No, I think he's got one more in him.
Do you? One more WrestleMania? Is he coming back to fight against Lesnar?
Maybe. Lesnar's signed through the end of WrestleMania, and then he's done again. He says he's going back to MMA.
That's true, but Cena still has a rematch clause.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Well, because he lost the title. That's the way it's always been. If you lose,
but he
you
lost
get one
his
fight.
rematch again too in September.
Yeah,
then he
that's
beat
true.
Orton and he got the free match. But I don't know.
Yeah,
and then
but that was with the Authority.
Yeah, and then Raw last night. So we had Raw last night. Again, I don't think they used Ryback properly. And
what do you think of Daniel Bryan taking over Raw?
I don't like the anonymous general manager. I think that's a hokey
that
angel.
thing is so
It's
stupid.
hokey. It's terrible. And then you have Michael Culp there. Well, I got an email.
Yeah, he went back to saying that. Well, he did that. I like that because it draws on the fans. They know they're going to boo him. They're going to boo him loud.
Yeah, but if you're going to have the heel guy, you should have JBL read it because he's supposed to be the villain announcer.
He is. That's true.
I don't
but it's always
understand the
been
three
because
guys.
it's always been Cole's spot. And King is just kind of like the neutral guy.
King needs to take a hike, man.
Well, but I mean that's just WWE paying homage to the past.
But
he's always been there.
You got three guys. I just don't. It doesn't work because JBL can't get in to be a villain guy. Because JBL's trying to be what the King was, where he was always rooting for the bad guy.
Right, but I can see them keeping him around because he's been around forever. It's one of those things
but they
where
fired Jim or they let Jim Ross go.
Yeah,
but you can't let the King go.
That wasn't a firing. They fired him per se on the show, but he was actually retiring.
Well, he writes articles for Fox. They're pretty good, actually.
Right. So
he's had a couple strokes.
Yeah. Well, and the King had a heart attack in the middle of the freaking the Raw. He had to walk out.
Yep.
If you're asking, I don't like three guys on commentary. You got to lose one of them. Personally, I would like to see the King go, but JBL might make a great GM. He would make a good GM character. He could be that kind of jerk. People don't like him anyway. It's not a bad route to go.
He could bring back the limo,
the business with the horns and all the bells.
Didn't he have a briefcase?
Yeah.
Oh, the big
the limo with the horns.
Yeah, the horns.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good way to go. I just don't think he's working on commentary because he doesn't get enough time.
Yeah, I don't like this anonymous Raw general manager.
I don't like it either.
Especially
But Daniel
how it
Bryan did a
ended.
good job yesterday.
He did. I like how they had him rub it in the face of you, but I would have liked to seen Triple H just deck him. How when they were trying to walk away and he was just in the face doing the yes.
No, that was good. And I
was waiting
I'm
for
not
Triple
a-
H to deck him
I'm
instead
not
he
a
just
big
walked out with his.
Bryan guy, but he's over. And he's good in the ring. He was trained by
Yep.
Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
So I got no problem with him on a talent perspective. So
But is he coming back to fight? At
I
any
think
time?
he's still. I think they don't want to take chances. Like I heard, Bad News Barrett is cleared too, but they don't want to risk it.
right. We stay clear because these people get real injuries, concussions, and whatnot. Granted, it's a live show. We understand that, but these injuries are real. John Cena has torn his bicep off the muscle. He's torn his pectoral completely off the bone.
Yeah.
I mean, really? No thanks, man. You guys can do all that, but I mean, and then they fight. The Rock did too in his last match against Cena. He tore his pectoral muscle against Cena and finished the match.
I mean, people could say what they want. The results are predetermined.
Are they
But-
athletes?
I mean, look at it like a Cirque du Soleil show. That's dangerous stuff.
It
and
is.
You go there to be entertained.
Yep.
I mean, if one of those guys falls, they break some bones.
Orton's out with a concussion.
Yeah, I think he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Well, let me ask you this because I don't like it at all. Adam Rose and the bunny. Do you care? Do you
no,
even care?
I don't even. I change it. I think that's so stupid. Now,
Isn't
granted,
it?
they're trying to market to all demographics.
Yeah, but
The
no
kids
one
love
cares.
him.
No one even cheers when he comes out.
The kids love it. They
I
do.
don't think so because they show the crowd and the people are just sitting there. You get like two of them who start
Look,
singing, but that's it.
To go through. First off, even though sometimes I think Vince McMahon is just a not a nice person because we can't curse. He is one of the smartest businessmen in the history of entertainment.
No, he's a
He
brilliant
took
man.
down Ted Turner when Turner tried to bring in WCW Monday Nitro on the exact same night that Monday Night Raw was, and at first Turner was beating him, and McMahon found a way to beat him. And basically, how that happened was McMahon found a way to take females and put them in the ring, whereas WCW Monday Nitro, they had females, but they just had cheerleaders. They had the Nitro girls, the dancers, and that's all they had for females, whereas Vince was putting them in the ring with some talent behind them, with like Lita and with some of the other girls out there. I can't think of their names right now, but I know exactly what they look like for good reason. But Turner just couldn't keep up because he couldn't find the girls that were that talented in the ring. They just had cheerleaders, and everybody was like, well, if you're just going to do cheerleaders, we can see that at a basketball game or at a football game.
Well, they have those really good documentaries on the network.
Mhm.
The Monday Night War is great. I
just watched it. That's
Yeah.
how I know all this stuff. It's
I'm
called
not
research.
I'm not a big fan of the Jericho, but I remember when he came over, and it's still my favorite. They do the countdown shows.
Raj Jericho.
That was the best intro of all time that I can remember.
Yeah, that was pretty
That
good.
was my favorite because they had the Y2J thing going for weeks. You're like, what's going on?
What is your favorite intro of all time? Is that it?
For like debut?
Yeah, no, just an intro, man. Who had
Intro?
the best intro? Now, tag team, I gotta say it's DX. Hands
DX
down.
was good. LODs was good too, but they
These
didn't
are
have
good.
as many of that stuff. I gotta go Undertaker, man. Have you
Oh,
ever been
yeah.
there when the Undertaker
Dude,
comes
I was
out?
at WrestleMania.
The,
I was
the building
right
gets
there on
colder.
the
It really does.
Wait, what?
Not for me, because when those fireballs were going off, we were feeling
you had
those
the fireballs.
things.
See, I had the ones where I went to a
What about
show
Stone
here.
Cold?
Oh,
Stone Cold was good too, but that's
That's
just
good.
because you were
The
waiting
Rock.
for something.
But you would hear that glass break. You
Yeah.
know, the break, and you're like, oh, here he comes. Well, even the dong for the
Well, the Undertaker, you were like,
Dong.
oh my god, this is something's
Yeah.
gonna happen. I remember
I'm
going
trying
to
to
a show
think.
here, and it was building up to WrestleMania 14, which is my favorite WrestleMania of all time. Stone
Goldberg.
Cold won the title.
I love Goldberg's entrance,
gold.
where he stands in the fire.
Mm.
You know, and
I never
then the
liked
fireworks
Goldberg.
are Yeah, man, that's entertaining.
But I remember the Undertaker one. They turn out all the lights, the dong hit, smoke's coming.
Dude, I was at WrestleMania.
The dude just
he walked
appeared
right in front of me.
No, he just was on top of the Titantron, and that building got colder. I don't know if they turned the air on or what. It was the best. That was the best entrance ever. And then you do the thing with the eyes.
Yeah,
and
probably the most
I don't know about the eyes
intimidating,
thing,
but one of the most
lights come on?
intimidating as a kid seeing that.
Yeah.
I was like, really? And then he would like do this hand gesture, and they would make the screen explode.
The lightning, or whatever.
The lighting and everything. I mean, that was cool. I love the whole he's down and then he just sits up. I love that storyline. You know how much strength though it takes when he had that second match. Like when he had that second match against Michaels, he kept sitting up over and over again.
That was I mean, the first Hell in the Cell.
That almost killed him.
Good thing we stayed up this late. Breaking news: Colt McCoy to start at QB.
What?
Just came out.
Let's take our final break and come back.
Let's go ahead
and
and do that, man.
I'll bring that up.
It's a great discussion.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey, everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Break a 19. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
Would you like to own a thriving business and help employ local veterans? The Vetraplex Handyman Construction and Landscape business is the opportunity you've been waiting for. The Vetraplex is your gateway to an affordable startup business with 0% financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you will be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
You take him off, man. And put him in control. Watch him become a god.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, closing out the evening. It's been a great show, man. I had fun tonight. We have a lot of topics that we're thinking about doing, especially along the WWE route. We had a lot of requests for that segment, And we can do. There's a lot of followers of all ages that love that segment. So hopefully that's going to grow a little bit. It'll probably stay about the same length, but there's a lot of things we can do with that because that's just one of my favorite shows.
You bring up the new stuff, I'm lost. But if you bring up the old stuff, I watched.
Well, we'll have plenty of discussion on that. Like favorite wrestler of all time, real quick. All time. Can I ask you to do it? I like The Rock.
I'd probably go Macho Man, or Stone Cold, or actually, you know what? Shawn Michaels.
Dude, really? You just named 3 of them, just like that.
Shawn Michaels was my favorite.
It's difficult.
And then you know who else? I liked Helmsley. Say. Helmsley was great in the
Triple
ring.
H,
he's had a lot of years.
Yeah.
And Cena doesn't get respect, but he's been on top for 15 years.
Yeah, 16-time champion.
15.
I can't even say. I mean,
I've
got one.
Throw a couple out there. Throw a couple out.
You like
we
Austin?
Just talked about. I like Jake the Snake way back in the day.
Right.
You got Bushwhackers. I love them.
The Bushwhackers.
Those guys were great.
Remember when they were on Family Matters?
Yeah.
No? Am I the only one?
There's ones that you're just like, those guys are awesome. Stone Cold is great.
Stone Cold's yeah. But as far as entertainment, I like The Rock more for the things that he says than what he does.
The Rock is good too. Yeah.
I mean, as far as entertainment goes, whenever he was in the
what about Mankind?
Mankind, yeah.
It depends which
Sacco.
one. Because I mean,
yeah, it depends on which one.
I didn't like Sacco. I
like the one that got thrown off the top of the cell.
You remember the Boiler Room Brawl?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. We need to bring those back.
You know
those
what
types of matches.
Great?
Well, they're a family show, so you can't do all that stuff anymore.
Sure, you can.
You know what's really good that never gets any respect, and we'll let Justin hit some breaking news. The empty arena match during the halftime of the Super Bowl, Rock versus Mankind.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
They had it was perfectly timed during halftime. It was great. All right, Justin, breaking news.
Colt McCoy is now starting for your Washington Redskins.
So does that mean you're going to pick the Redskins this week?
No.
No.
But they pulled the trigger and finally took RG3 out.
Now, my question is who's in charge there? Is that a Gruden saying, look, you're going to fire me, I'm going to get fired my way? Or is he saying, Snyder, listen to me. You want to win games. This is how we've got to win games.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to go into it.
Let me see how it pulled up.
And apparently the Coyotes let 3 goals in. Well, 2 goals in the third. So they're tied going to overtime. So great.
Outstanding.
Yeah, the only thing I got, it's a breaking news from Adam Scheffler. Washington is planning to start Colt McCoy over RG3 on Sunday in Indianapolis per team source.
All right. Aaron, Thanksgiving's coming up. What are you thankful for?
Family, friends. I'm going to spend some time with my family, and I want to give a big thank you to everyone over there who's kicking some butt overseas so we can have a day off and relax a little bit. Well, unfortunately, they're over there.
Outstanding. Justin?
Same family, and I was once one of those guys over there. The military, they treat you decently when Thanksgiving comes around. If you're at a nice fob or in an area to where they bring you food. So I know you guys have a pretty good meal, which it's the only really good meal that you get, besides Christmas and what are some of the major holidays where you get like a.
That's pretty much it. Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's pretty much it.
So you get some food.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad, but it still sucks. So I understand. But
yeah,
thanks, guys.
I do. I want to say thank you to all of our soldiers, all of our servicemen and women out there. Radio Daddy number 2. He's deployed right now,
fighting a good fight.
So thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate you, man. We miss you around the holidays. Come back in one piece.
Go Bears.
And yeah, man, definitely. So and big shout out to all the veterans out there.
Polish sausage.
But we will not be in the office on Saturday. I am generous enough to give the people that I am also truly thankful for is my radio family right here: Justin, Aaron, Joel, Brent, Ivan, Veronica, absolutely Veronica in New Jersey. Thank you so much for what you guys do. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And we will be back in the office Tuesday evening next week. So
no day off for me.
Outstanding. Holla.
cat.